back to WeXpats TV. I'm your host Rebecca, and today we are going to talk about Christmas in Japan. And there are actually all kinds of holidays in December, and the world, well, especially the world. But anyways, Japanese people do have a specific ways of celebrating Christmas, and they love Christmas so much. So how do Japanese people actually celebrate Christmas? So in today's video, we are going to explain to you and to see if it is actually still celebrated like this with our writers and also my leader. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about a brief history of Christmas in Japan. So since Japan is a country that has a very special view, religion, and with its long history of Shinto and Buddha's influence, they celebrate Christmas without considering it as a religious event. Unlike, especially if you're in the States. Well, in the States, you have other holidays too. So I'm not exactly saying Christmas equals America's Christmas. I'm saying that, in the States, if you celebrate Christmas, it's usually probably have a religious purpose. But in Japan, even if people do celebrate it, it doesn't have any religion content, and more of the time of year to spread happiness. And the reason of celebrating Christmas in Japan is that after World War II, Christian missionaries brought gifts and the concept of Christmas to Japan's schools and also families, and you have a lot of missionary coming to Japan and have a lot of schools, right? So that's how they actually spread the idea of it, and they actually adopted the holiday not for religious reasons but to show prosperity in a modern world right after World War II, and to show that they can actually afford having a holiday and a big event other than New Year. So though there are some similarities between the Japanese celebrations and also those of other Western nations, such as Santa and an array of desserts and also treats filled with ornaments, there are a few key differences that you'll notice if you're here in Japan during the Christmas holiday season. So how do Japanese people celebrate Christmas? First of all, there are three really important parts. First of all, fried chicken, Christmas cake, and also illumination. So first we're gonna talk about fried chicken. Why fried chicken? You're probably thinking about it. But so the brief history of how fried chicken coming into Japan is that after World War II in the 1940s and 50s, the Japanese economy began to take off. And the Japanese, with their pockets inundated the first wave of consumer culture explosion, American culture become a sign of having a rich life and having a good life. And that's why people starting to buy a lot of American goods. So all the fashion brands and also some chain stores such as McDonald's and KFC started to coming into Japan after 1940s. And then KFC actually established their first store in Nagoya in 1970. And according to how people say, according to KFC actually, so in the 1970s, there is this branch in Tokyo around Aoyama area, and there is this one Christian kindergarten right next to it. And this kindergarten, they actually wanted to celebrate Christmas, but because they couldn't find any place to actually buy chicken, so they'd be so do they can't find full chicken, so do we want something else to celebrate it? And then the teacher actually thought of, why not we can just get fried chicken. And that's how they actually went to KFC and tried to get fried chicken, and actually asked the clerk at the store if they can dress up as Santa Claus to celebrate the Christmas with the kids. And at the time, the store manager actually agreed to their request for dressing up as Santa Claus, and that's how it was a big success of celebrating it. And due to the success of the party, the manager decided to continue promoting fried chicken during Christmas season, and then that's why they actually have this family meal, bucket meal, right after that as well. And then he actually went on NHK, one of the national broadcast company in Japan, for an interview, and he lied at the interview that eating fried chicken during Christmas season is a Western tradition. So it's actually not Western tradition, we all know that. But he actually lied to the Japanese people. That's why they thought it's real, and that's why they just kept celebrating like that for a long time, even until now. So that's why people started to eat KFC on Christmas. And actually right now you don't have to go to KFC for fried chicken during Christmas. You can actually reserve fried chicken from Lawson, 7-Eleven, Mini Stop, Family Mart, all those convenience stores. So it's actually really easy to get. I'm not sure if people still eat fried chicken actually. So the second one, Christmas cake. Well, Christmas cake is also another way of promoting another tradition that is actually established by another business after World War II. It is actually seen as a symbol of prosperity since Japan rose from ruins after World War II, and that's when the owner, one of the original owner of Fujiya, actually started to serve Christmas cake, those strawberry shortcake filled with strawberry and with like all kinds of like Christmassy ornaments on top of it in 1922, and that's how he started to promote it. And it has a very straightforward tagline saying, "Let's eat cake on Christmas. Christmas cakeを食べましょう." It was very easy to understand and it was very straightforward, but people just get it, you know. And then having a cake during wartime is impossible. You just want to survive, right? So people kind of want to enjoy that time, you know. After World War II, we started to have some kind of money. We have time to actually, you know, have cake, that kind of like happiness. So I think that's a pretty good tradition in my opinion. So I think that's pretty great, and I personally love strawberry cakes in Japan. So, and nowadays you can actually get all kinds of like Christmas cake on Christmas. You can get it from hotel like Intercontinental, Hilton, and all kinds of like luxury hotels. They have their own, and then you can get it from convenience store. You can also reserve it from like your depachika, like department store basement, you know, like food court. So it's actually not only strawberry cake right nowadays, but there are a lot of different kinds. And the third one is actually Illuminations. Illumination is so important for Japanese people. The entire country goes crazy for it. And then in Tokyo, you can actually go to Marunouchi, Hibiya, Roppongi, Odaiba, Yomiuri Land. And also Osaka, you have Midosuji. And in Kobe, it's a very special one, is Kobe Luminary. It's a light festival that held in Kobe, Japan, and to commemorate the 6,000 lives lost in 1995 to a great Hanshin earthquake and one of the Japan's like deadliest earthquakes. So it's a illumination that actually have a very special meaning. I personally think that's great, and then I feel like that is you know, to remind us of what happened, and then, you know, having a better life right now, to cherish what you have. I think that's very important meaning of Christmas too, so I think that's wonderful. I would love to visit myself. So that's the very major 3 points of Christmas in Japan that we want to introduce to you. And there are other ones too, like Christmas market, Roppongi, and then there are a lot of couples. And it is a holiday for couples in Japan, so it's like, it will blow your mind actually. People actually go crazy trying to find a partner. Like they actually went out, they just like tried to find someone before Christmas because they want to spend Christmas. They don't want to spend Christmas by themselves. So I think that's something very interesting in my opinion. And that's like kind of cool. I guess it's their like freedom to do so. So anyways, however, for those whom Christmas has some particular religious significance attached to, churches offering Christmas mass can also certainly be found in any major city in Japan, especially in Tokyo. There are so many churches. So I think if you actually celebrate it because you're a Christian, you'll be fine. You will find somewhere to do it. Alright, so in the next part, we are going to have our writers and also Kawashima-san with me to talk about some of the Christmas tradition, and if Japanese people or people like us who actually live in Japan still celebrate Christmas like that. Okay, let's go.